Let me start that over. I think a lot of you are familiar with Trenton, who is Director of Tech and AI for Tristan and a Brilliant Tribe and the organization and all the stuff he's got going on. And Trenton, I know you because anytime I have a technical question about working through a CRM or talking about Facebook ads or, doing anything outside of the organic element, Tristan's always like, hey, let me connect you to Trenton. And so I think that's about the best description I can give you. I know we're gonna walk through some platforms today that are very relevant to the real estate industry, and you're gonna do some demoing. So Trenton, take it away, my friend, and I'll just be in the background and be a peanut gallery. If you have questions, put them in the chat. I'll be keeping an eye on it. This is recorded. Let's go.
Excellent. Well, appreciate that. Hello, everybody, and welcome to joining us. So today, I'm going to go over some different AI plugins that you guys could definitely be implementing into your business. You can even start today with some of these things. We're going to go over a few different programs such as ChatGPT. We're going to go over Bing Chat, which will lead into kind of some Dall-E, some Midjourney, and while these names might be a little unfamiliar for some of you, that's why I'm here to try to make it a little bit more simplified for you guys and how we can use AI to generate strategies, ideas, text to different images that we can then use within maybe flyers or social media posts, maybe on your website, but different ways to be able to create content that might not be out there or that you guys are seeking. I've noticed recently the use of image prompting services such as Dall-E and Midjourney and Discord and things like that have kind of replaced the need for stock photos even as well. I've gone through trying to find that one stock photo that's going to work, maybe trying to find a free one versus paying, $20, $30, $40 for the image and then having to reproduce it and things of that nature, to where now we can define exactly what we're looking for in a specific prompt to be able to create some of those things we're looking for. And so I'm going to share this document that I have, and we'll go through each one, and then I'll pop into the actual platform, and then feel free to ask any questions that you guys have, and I'll try to answer them as we go, especially when we dive into each specific platform here. That'll be a little bit more confusing for some if it's a first time seeing and things like that. Before we get started though, are you guys, if you can write in the chat, are you guys using AI platforms at your moment? Or is it something that you guys are looking to, get a little bit more details on? Yes. Great. Use ChatGPT daily. Great. Excellent. So some of these will be definitely familiar. Okay, we got not as much as I should. Well, Amber, hopefully this will help, focus on those things, those smaller things instead of trying to overcomplicate things as well. So kind of just starting here. Obviously, what is ChatGPT? It's definitely a place where we can ask questions, have conversations like you would like with a human. The great thing now is that they have it as an app as well for your phone. So you can have, whatever conversations you need to, or ask questions that you might have to get answers to. And what we're using it specifically for is writing blogs, creating new image prompts that we can then go take over to a Midjourney or a Dall-E, and I'll walk you through that as well. We're using it to, think of different copy options, and then we'll go in there and humanize them and try to put them all together. But it's a great place to get options. Things like one that we just did recently was a mortgage piece. It was a flyer that goes in a calendar type thing for a basketball program, and it basically, we went in there and used it to create different content ideas, and we used it to create some copy. And it's great where if you have a bunch of bullet points of things that you're looking for and you just don't know how to execute it, it's a great way to just put them in there and then be able to get some of that information. And so I'm going to share with you this example here of one of them that we just created, and it's this one. And so what's kind of nice here is that Up here we kind of mentioned, what we're doing, creating a flyer for a specific place, what the size dimensions are, all the information that we need to have on it. And what's nice with Dall-E, I'll be more specific into this, it will actually walk you through what you should be using and how you can do it. And then it starts to give you examples, except I don't know where they all are. I guess they kind of got lost. Maybe I have to refresh. And so what's nice is that it starts to give these examples, and then you can tell it, what you like or don't like about it, and it'll populate some additional images here that you could use. We also use it for, if we want to go create image prompts for a different program, we can do that. We use it for creating, like I said, different copy. But what I think it's great for is to be able to just have conversations with it. And up here, there's like some different options that we can do. And the majority that you guys will use is probably like default if you pay for the premium version. Otherwise, there's a free version as well that works just almost as well. That's the paid version, but the paid version, you get some other options such as incorporating Dall-E, which I'll show you guys here in a second, and then some other plugins as well. But just to start, it's great for, create me a flyer for whatever you need. And then what's great about this is that you guys can, like I said, talk to it. So when it presents different results, be sure to say, I don't like this, make this more catchy, make this more engaging, dive deeper into what you're specifically looking for. And so some of them that we've used for is, create me a strategy for farming in this area. And then you start to revise it, or create me a social media post around my new listing. And so create me a new listing post for 123 Main Street in Malibu. So you can start with something simple. It starts to kick out ideas here. And then what the important part is that you go in there and you actually try to manipulate it to what you're specifically looking for. And so obviously, once you kind of read through this, it has some good information here. That I would say like that sounds pretty vague. Make it more catchy and engaging and shorten it. And so it'll then do exactly what you're looking for, and you can continue to do these things. And so a nice one was if you have a new listing to put all these different things that are in the home, a 2-bedroom, nice kitchen, stainless steel appliances, and you can just list them all in bullet points. And then you can be like, write me a property description for this information. And then, so if you did something like this is where you'd be like, 2-bed house, luxury bathroom, stainless steel appliances, pool and basketball court and backyard. And then you can say in Malibu near beach. And so once you ask this, it will then start to write this information for you. So if you guys aren't using that, definitely play around with this. I think this is a great one that you could probably use almost every single day for, even if it's just simple ideas and things like that. And so this next one I wanted to show you is, can you guys see the presentation? Awesome. I didn't know if I shared the window or the screen. This next one I want to show you is Tome. And so Tome AI is great for creating storytelling and stunning presentations. And again, it can also incorporate some images as well, but it's a great starting point to get ideas for things. And so what we use this for is for our blog articles specifically. And so on our website, we have a bunch of different categories here. And so like if we picked one of Malibu, we're trying to, create like a home ownership guide type thing for, any of our clients that are in Malibu. And so what we do is we go to Tome, and they have some new features in here, which is kind of exciting. I haven't played too much around with it in the last week, but there's a bunch of different things you can do. But the main thing that I like to do is create a presentation about. You can generate images as well in here. If you have a document you want to create a presentation, you can upload that. But if you create a presentation about a home owner's guide for new residents in Malibu, And so you would do that. I've already used up my free credits and everything, but I've created a bunch of different ones down here. And so if we look at this one specifically, Westlake Village, what it'll do is it'll create like this outline of different things here. And so things to consider is, like welcome to Westlake Village. We would break this down into like an overview of the city. We would look at it as a top real estate market in the city. What neighborhoods are up and coming? What are the market trends? And then we might look at what is the education? What is the what does the younger schools look like? What does the colleges look like? What does the healthcare look like? So what we're doing is we're creating a bunch of different ideas here. I guess I didn't pick the outline version. I did the presentation one. Let's see, is this one better? Yeah, so here's where these categories come: overview, history, culture. And so what we do then is we have a prompt here that we train ChatGPT to write articles on, and we focus on things like, writing the first sentence as a mastery of brevity, clearly strong opinion of the article. We mentioned how long we want the intro and conclusion to be, a structure of 3 to 5 main ideas. And so what we do here is we would take this entire prompt, and if we created the new chats, we would put this in here every single time, and it always says, yes, I understand. And so we've created a list of, let me find which one it is here. So we created a list in Trello, actually, of all these different categories here. What the cost of living is like. So if I said cost of living in Malibu, because it says, please provide me with the topic, and I would say the cost of living in Malibu. And now it's going to start writing this article. And when I mentioned that about the first sentence, clearly asserting the strong opinion of the article, that's kind of what this is right here. And then I ask for, relevant stats or actionable tips. And so it'll start to put these stats in here. And what's great is that you can then create, using some of these other programs, creating graphics to then post on social media and then direct them back to your website. You can use this in smart plans in your CRM. You can then create on day 6 or day 7, hey, I just wanted to share with you, some different articles on the specific city that you're looking for. Here's our link to it, and send them back to the website. They can go read about these things. And so the important thing about this is obviously not keeping everything that's in here, but being able to read it and then again manipulate it to what you're looking for. So things I might say is make it more catchy and engaging. Oops, I can't even type today. Engaging, and make sure the topics or the main ideas are 100 characters. I may say something like that, so then it expands on that. And then it'll make it a little bit longer there. And so then, like I said, we'll have this entire list here of all these different things, farm to table restaurants, the ultimate guide to private jet and helicopter travel in Malibu. And then we go through different helipads and different ports of that. What dream homes look like at the market on the time. So it's about kind of creating a nice collection of articles that you can then share. And in theory, you can almost put this kind of into like a maybe a 25-page guidebook as well. You can take a bunch of these things and then be able to provide that to the to your clients. And so the next thing I wanted to kind of go over is, now that we use ChatGPT to write a lot of stuff, create some ideas. We use Tome to, again, create an outline of ideas. You could do this in ChatGPT, but we really like how it comes out in Tome to be able to do that with the outline format. The next one I wanted to talk to, there's 2 here specifically, Midjourney and Dall-E. And so both of these can create images that you can then use in marketing material on social media, things like that. And they're a little bit different. They provide different results. You have the exact same prompt and put them in both platforms there, and it will create different images. So we have to go through and obviously find which ones work the best. But an example here is, and how to access Midjourney is a little bit more complicated than Dall-E. So I'm going to start with Dall-E first. Dall-E is, if you go to bing.com, and then you go up here and hit chat, and then just make sure that this creative one is clicked here. And this is where you can say, create me an image of whatever. And like one of the examples I had in here is I have Cocker Spaniels and I really like retro Jordans. So I wanted a Cocker Spaniel in this. And so it creates this almost perfectly to be able to do that. Example down here was some type of prompt based on Malibu, and I can find what the specific ones are here in a second. But I just did one earlier to show you guys. I said, create me an image of a realtor hosting an open house in Malibu with a view of ocean and guests on the patio talking. And so these are what it put out. And one thing to watch for, specifically when you're doing these platforms, is sometimes these faces don't always turn out perfectly. And so even if you're going like a couple of days seem all right, but this one seems a little off, this one seems a little off. So you could either blur this image a little bit, or you can go back to the drawing board and say, make it more realistic, things like that. And so this one I think is perfect. I mean, you could probably tell that it is AI generated, but this is a great graphic to where you could put copy over here, and then you can like overlay it in Canva and start to create your little promotional post here. Maybe you're promoting an open house. This one I don't think is too bad, except you have like this face right here that looks like it's out of Halloween. And so that's just what you got to kind of watch for a couple times. And again, you can prompt with these to get a little bit better. She's a little bit messed up there. She's a little bit messed up. But if I were to take this exact same one and go over here into Midjourney. So
Hey,
Midjourney,
Trenton on Dall-E, is that the paid version or is that the free version?
this is free. Yeah. So that's a good point. So Dall-E on Bing Chat is completely free. And you can also access it through ChatGPT 4 by enabling Dall-E down here. And so there's two ways to do this. You have to pay for GPT-4 in order to do this, but you can get Bing Chat for free. And I've noticed that Midjourney is a lot better at creating more realistic photos, but Bing Chat I think is a lot better at creating more, I don't know how to word that, more graphical, more animated type photos. And it always comes down to what the prompt is. And so another important thing here is if you go to GPT
How,
4,
how new is how new is this drop down right here in ChatGPT 4? I haven't noticed it, but that could be because I'm not looking for it.
Dall-E just came out last week. Um, the plugins have been here for a while. This browse with Bing just kind of got added recently. But the main thing that I use as far as ChatGPT 4 is, the default one, the Dall-E 3, and then creating prompts for Midjourney.
Why
And
why
so,
wouldn't why wouldn't I have plugins showing as my in my drop down?
so down here in the bottom left, it's a settings thing you have to turn on. And so once you hit settings of beta and go to beta controls, you'd have to turn on plugins here, as well as the advanced data analysis, which will allow for to be able to execute code if you guys are into that.
Oh,
But yeah, so that's the main thing there on how to get that added up here.
that was worth it just in and of itself. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. And so one of the plugins here is this one. So you can go in here and there's a plugin store, and there's a bunch of different plugins here that you can do. I typed in Midjourney, and the one that I really like is this photorealistic one. And so what I did was, let's see, is it this one? Maybe it's this one. So what I said is, write me a photorealistic prompt for this. Create me an image of a realtor. So I literally took what I put in Bing Chat here, and I said, create me a prompt. And what I like about this photorealistic is that it starts to add a certain camera option. Now, I don't know specifically what a Canon versus a Nikon versus a Fuji is going to do. But what we can do is test it out in Midjourney. And so Midjourney, you go through Midjourney right here, and it's more of a, you don't necessarily build out the graphics on Midjourney. You have to go down here and go to Discord. And so once you do that, you can basically get in here. A really simplified version of what you need to know for Midjourney Discord, because it is a little bit complicated, is once you sign up, it's pretty simple. All we need to really focus on is you can ignore a lot of these different things. Just make sure Midjourney is selected over here. Ignore all these different channels. The only thing that's important to you is one of these three newbies. And it doesn't matter what newbies you go on, but you have to be on one of the newbies in order to do the image prompts. And so this is like kind of like all the different prompts that people are putting in. And so basically all you have to do down here is you hit backslash, or I guess that's forward slash, and then you hit imagine, and it creates this prompt to be able to create images. Once you hit enter, this is where I paste in that prompt that I just created from ChatGPT. And then we kind of just wait here for a second. And it takes about 30 to 45 seconds to be able to create this image. And the important part is to be able to test these out, try different things. And once it's done, it will create something like this. And it's going to give you 4 options. And so the next important thing to know is once we do imagine prompt in the newbies channel, we go up here and the images kick out, and the U stands for upscale. So let's say I really like this one, or I really like this one. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So if I wanted this one as a high quality image, I could then hit upscale 3. Or if I really like this one because it's reminds me of my dog, I can then hit the V, which is variations. So it'll then take, if we did V3, it'll take variations of this specific image and create similar ones that are like this one. Or if I like this one or this one or this one. And so the other thing to notice is it looks like ours is done here. Once you type it in, you're gonna have to keep scrolling down to the bottom and maybe like, fighting through some other people that have done it. But now keep in mind, this is the same prompt I used for this, and you can see how this is a little bit cartoony looking in a way, coloring wise. If we go into here, these are what Midjourney kicks out, which, great exterior there. You can see that it looks like these human faces actually are worse compared to the other one. Looks like some of these are as well. Now, it wouldn't be terrible if you're blurring this out a little bit, or you have copy that goes over some of these people, because it's going to, you're not going to notice those things. Like this one, I don't think is too bad. I think this would be a doable one. And so if we did like any of these, or let's say we didn't like any of them, the last thing I didn't show you was this thing. And so if you do this, it will redo the prompt. And so then you'll get some different variations here. And again, you have to just wait for it to come back down to the bottom. But while it's loading that, I wanted to show you the capabilities here of the Midjourney. So these are some of the images that I've used that we're using routinely in different applications. And so one of them is that we're trying to cater to distressed agents. And so this is an image here that we chose to use for distressed agents that need to sell their home. So she's selling her home, not necessarily wanting to. Same like this one, kind of having that thought. Another option here is that we were looking for some luxury kitchens to apply to some luxury buyers. And so we came up with these 3 that, we ended up saving for this. We had a couple that, to cater to veterans. So we created a couple of these graphics. This guy's face might be a little bit messed up, but it's also the behind. This one I thought turned out perfectly. And so the only bad part is I don't actually know if there's 13 stripes here, but that's something to consider. And maybe you put copy over here, so that's not the intention. Again, this one as well, his face is a little bit messed up, but depending on how you use the image, it could still work out.
You just give me an idea too, when you're choosing images, or when you're putting like people in these that you request. Like James pointed out that the hands are always jacked up, so you should probably just put in the prompt to put their hands in their pocket, and then that fixes that
Or
problem.
also having them shot from behind, because if their face is what's getting messed up, at least the back of their head isn't.
Yeah, good point.
That's why I was actually kind of surprised as to how well this one turned out for a face, because it was in the front. Another one was we tried to create a veteran style home, which is probably a little bit more 4th of July, but at least it still gets that same feeling. Some other ones, these are some of the ones that we're trying to convey, exponential growth. And so we can definitely manipulate and have those different there. Some of these are I just doing myself. This one, again, was from a distressed seller. As if he's looking at his home, looks a little concerned and worried. And so we can even do some of neighborhoods as well. Here's one that we had for Westlake Village. Pretty realistic homes. Looking here, they're on the lake. If we look at some from Malibu, I mean, this looks like a stock photo to me. And so this is what's so nice about these is that you don't have to go pay for those anymore. And you can start to use some of these and, different neighborhood graphics. If you're trying to do some farming, like on a postcard, those work out well for that. They're not always perfect. I think one of these that I had pulled out had way too many palm trees and it wasn't necessary for that area. And so you just have to kind of manipulate that. And so if we go back and try to find that one we just did, let's see, here we go. And it'll always have this yellow line here, like it kind of highlights it like this is it. So here's these new variations. And let's hope that some of these are a little bit better. Looks like still some of the images, probably not the best for faces. But again, maybe that's where we go back into the prompt. And we could say, the faces keep getting distorted. And so to the hands, focus on the backs of the people and or hands in the pocket.
This is a good
And
reminder that that's all. I mean, you just have to tell it what to do. Like when it's screwing things up, just don't quit. Just go tell it to fix it.
I like to say treat it like an intern because an intern's not always going to know everything, but you really need to spell it out for them.
Treat it like a husband who's not listening. That's what my
That
wife
would
would say.
work too. And so don't be, like I said, don't be afraid to say, oh, I hate this. Try it again. Or, I really don't like this because of this. And that's totally fine to say that. And so let's see if this one's a little bit better just because we did that update there. Go back to Imagine prompt here. And so if you've
Hey, Trenton,
noticed,
while that's uploading too, James had a question. He missed a step on how did the images get back from Discord to Midjourney? Was that automatic?
yes, you're right. Perfect. So no, it's not automatic. Well, I guess technically sort of. There's this section once you're in Midjourney here, there's grids and upscales. And so the grids, these ones come back automatically. But if you wanted to get a full scale image here, that's where you have to click the upscale 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's how you would get the actual high quality image back. And so I'll do it with this one here. And hopefully these are a little bit better. I think I even did a couple before of that. And so don't be afraid to use these same prompts here in here as well. Create me an image of, and so you can use that same prompt and it'll kick out a good result as well. So let's see, hopefully this is a little bit better. And, might having some of these sun flares might even help with that to prevent some of the faces. If I look at this, it's probably just this guy and this girl, but you really can't tell. Yeah, a little bit more there. And again, just continue to play with these prompts because it's hardly ever on the first try that you're going to get it. But after a few different tries, you'll get it. And like, look how high quality this guy is. And what's nice is that once you do find one that works, you could actually take this prompt that was in here and I'll put it in the chat so you guys can actually see what that looked like. Oh, it looks like they didn't even finish it, but it still took one of those that I created in Midjourney there, or in ChatGPT to put it in here. Like this one, the faces turned out perfectly fine in this. It just takes a few different tries to be able to get that perfectly. I mean, like he looks immaculate there. She looks pretty good as well. So again, so once we have the photo, let's say we really enjoyed, I kind of like this one. So if I did upscale 3, within like seconds, I can come back into here and hit refresh. And if I'm too quick, it might not be there, but usually it's pretty much right there. But we're going to pop back into here and see if this is going to create this one yet, so we can do a comparison. And now I think everybody should be using either Dall-E or Midjourney or a combination of both, just because these are super easy images to create to help promote your business. If you're doing a buyer presentation and you need a couple photos in there, come in here and create those photos. If you need to convey yourself as a realtor in a specific area. Definitely use some of those. So this prompt is definitely different. Like the results are, you can see some faces are still messed up, but I've shown you results that don't always have these faces messed up. Because it just takes a few different tries to be able to get it. Like this one, I think would work perfectly. Open house at whatever, or come visit me at my open house this weekend. And what's nice is that it then shows you what that prompt is to be able to get that image. So I see we're almost out of time here. Does anybody have any last second questions that I can answer to be able to help you out with any of these? And what's great is that you're able to use these images anywhere. So you don't have to worry about copyright and things like that, which is also super nice.
I think we need to do more of this, is what I think. Because I've had several people message me, and I even was thinking it myself. I'm gonna have to rewatch this to be able to implement some of this stuff. So I think it would be good to probably just do this more consistently, as long as you're willing to, Trenton.
Yeah, totally. Especially if we wanted to focus on like one specific one,
Yeah,
or a specific, if I have this type of post or a flyer or something I need, how can I then use it on all the different platforms to be able to get what I need for that?
I think we should probably just build in a 30-minute AI meeting once a month. And that way we'll just talk about whatever's hot at the moment and go over, maybe just focus on one, tool or one strategy. I think that would be very
Excellent.
useful.
Yeah. That'd work because even like last week, there's new things that came out just yesterday or the day before. There's a new Midjourney Dall-E type one that just came out that I'm testing out right now. And so it's constantly evolving.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, I got to run, guys. If you guys have questions, throw them in the chat. The CK and Trenton will stay here. So we'll see you guys on the next call or in the back end.
Excellent. Chip, you said
Thank
love
you
to
so much, guys. So awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, awesome. Glad you got enjoyed that. Let's see. I just saw one. Probably better to focus on one platform at a time. Yeah, definitely next time we can focus specifically on creating one flyer and then how we do it in each section there. I love to see specific examples where you are using this. Definitely I can get those and provide those to you guys as well. Do you have to use Bing only? No, but Bing is where you get Dall-E from. So it's free. So bing.com, go to chat, and then go to create me an image of, and that's how you can use that. Bing chat is a lot like ChatGPT. I just don't think the ChatGPT type function in Bing chat is as strong as ChatGPT. So copy, strategy, those things I want to focus on ChatGPT with. But Bing, I do enjoy these images that are coming out here. And so, yeah, we can definitely show you guys how we are using that. Actually, I might even have give me 1 second here. I can pull up a PDF of how we're using it. And then let me share my screen really fast. And thank you guys for staying on for those that are here. Oh, and I grabbed the wrong one. 1 second. Oh no, I think I saved over it. So, oh no, here it is. It was a different name. So we have these ads that we're running for leads that have registered and we're retargeting to them. And so we have these ones specifically that are, let me zoom out a little bit, move down sellers. And so recreate copy here and manipulate it to how we want it. And now we're using these images specifically for move down sellers. For move up buyers, we're looking at some of these images. And so we're creating ads with these graphics and these copy points to help, retarget to our clients. If we have a veteran, I showed you guys a couple of these. This was Midjourney, and these were all Dall-E. Midjourney was really hard because it kept wanting to do everything so patriotic, like, it was a little overkill. But this was kind of a simplified one there. Like distressed sellers, a couple of these home images, but I also showed you some of the human ones that we're going to use as well, with the emotions and reactions from having to be a seller in distress there. Luxury sellers, buyers, these were all Dall-E, the free one. I thought these were kicking out way better than Midjourney was. Midjourney was, I kept seeing a grand piano and it just looked like very fake in there at times, to where Dall-E kind of, made it a little bit more cleaner in there. This is probably my favorite image that I've generated. And yeah, so this is how we're using it. We are using these graphics here. We just created a new graphic for a client, with taking an image, taking some of the copy options, and then building it out into a flyer for them to put into a pamphlet. So that's kind of how we're doing it. James, I love that. That's great. What you just put into the chat there. What was that from? Was that from Dall-E?
I gave it the prompt you shared with us in the chat, and then I wanted to know if it would like search the web for my website, and my website's beardedagent.com. It didn't search it, but it kicked that out. That
Awesome.
obviously is not me.
Yes, but I love that. So that's exactly, and then you can even use these as like Instagram stories, or, different posts, things like that. Denise, yeah, even ChatGPT has so many new features and extensions, ever changing. They just added the Dall-E into ChatGPT a couple of days ago. So it's constantly evolving, and we're continuing to test these out on a daily basis, so that way we can relay these to you guys on how to use this. Yes, the list of how to log in and where to go for us newbies. Yeah, I can definitely, as we're progressing here, try to provide some of that information for you guys. I have a CK, if you remind me, I have a PDF of how to get started with Midjourney, because that one's probably the most difficult to get started with. But I made a little quick start on how to do that, so I can always send that as well.
Absolutely.
But all right, so if that's all the questions, thank you guys for joining. And it sounds like this was beneficial, so I'll be back again, and we will focus more on specific case studies going forward. So thank you guys, and have a wonderful Halloween weekend here.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you so
Thanks,
much.
Trenton. I
You
appreciate
too.
it.
All right, see ya.